Yo, what's happening? Good. Someone return me to the waking world. um, I'm like making this in a rush after my nap since I've been running on adrenaline since 5 a.m. because that's when they announced it for me. But here's like a big update video thing with like Discord and Patreon. Um, the last part of the video will be talking about my health and like why I'm opening these things. This might be kind of long, so obviously you don't have to force yourself to watch the whole thing. Um, but I feel like I should probably be honest to my community as to why I'm opening these things now after so many years of deciding not to. So first things first, Discord. Whoa! Discord. I have a Discord now. It's called Tori's Birdhouse. It's a public Discord with a Patreon section that the cool Patreon guys will get. I still need to figure out things like emotes and stickers, but that's gonna have to be something down the line over time. At the moment, it would be a cool place to chill out with the Honkai bros, and just, honkai around. I would love to hang out with you guys and just game and talk about dumb stuff, I guess. Also, mod applications are open. Please help. You'll get Patreon benefits for free after your trial period. And moving on from that, I'm also launching a Patreon. Wow! Woo! The tiers are subject to change in pricing and benefits because I honestly don't know what the hecky I'm doing. This is my first time doing anything like this, so I hope you'll be patient with me as I sort these things out and, refine everything. Most of the benefits at the moment are attached to Discord, and some really cool ones include Patreon member events, behind the scenes content, Q&As, and video suggestions. Please check it out if you're interested. If you would like to support me outside of Patreon, I have a coffee for one-time donations, and my commissions are usually open for voiceover related work and audio mixing and sound design related work. Projects like Hunters at Home are humongous and cannot be done without the talented animators and artists that helped me, and I want to feed them too! Onto the sad stuff now, the more depressing stuff. So if you don't want to hear it and just want to hear about the Discord and Patreon stuff and ways to support me, you can click off now. But I believe that the best thing for me to do in order to clear my conscience of like asking for Patreon and like stuff like coffee is to be honest with my community, because there's a few of you guys. You guys exist, and I want to acknowledge you guys. So, hello! As you know, I am the director and producer of the Hunters at Home animation short. I'm genuinely so proud of what my team made and what we were able to do in such a short time frame. I truly 100 bajillion% believe that what we made with zero budget and on that short time scale should realistically be impossible. But somehow a miracle came through even with all the roadblocks that happened. This was my first time doing something so big, and I had zero knowledge of what was needed for a 3D animated project going into it. Yet all my collaborators put all their trust and effort in, even with the knowledge that, the most that could come out of the entire thing was that we made something cool. Us winning is so amazing, but the biggest thing was that they just wanted to make something cool, and they thought what I could provide was cool, so they hopped on. I don't know. They just believed in me, and they're goated for that, I guess. I genuinely don't have any words to explain the gratitude I feel towards them and everyone that stood by me day one of release to support the animation and give their encouragement and their votes and all that stuff. That is what? I still can't believe it. We passed through so many trials and tribulations in the end. Like, the animation is not perfect, it's rough, but it's filled with a lot of love and care, because I have the Honkai brain rot. Now, the reason I'm telling you all of this is because one of the trials and tribulations that I face on a daily basis and what prevents me from making these type of projects more often is unfortunately my health. The truth is, about a week before the deadline, I was in the intensive care unit. As many of you guys should know, this is the section reserved in hospitals for people that are in immediate danger and need 24/7 monitoring. I was in the ICU until after the deadline. I was not discharged until the 3rd of June, which is 2 days after the submission. So I was actually not the one to even upload the video onto my channel. I had one of my members do it, and I was in like a Discord call with them in the hospital bed in the ICU, making sure like all the metadata, all the tags were good, the description was correct, and like all the like tagging for everyone. It was insane. One of the major reasons why the animation is not polished and has a lot of mistakes in it is because I was in the hospital. I physically was not able to be at home and polish everything. I'll be incredibly honest. I almost died before the project was supposed to air. And this is the third occurrence of this happening in the past 6 months. But this is definitely the closest I've ever gotten to knocking on the pearly gates. About 3 years ago, I started to develop an aggressive illness. It's still undiagnosed because these type of diseases are very rare and extremely difficult to diagnose because there's so much overlap with so many other things. Like it could be X, Y, Z. At the moment, some doctors and I have suspicion of what it could be, but I don't want to share any of that until I get confirmation on paper from a doctor with a diagnosis. The most that I'm comfortable sharing with at the moment is that it seems to be some kind of inflammatory autoimmune disease or something in that realm with how the symptoms present itself. In 2022 of February, I got COVID. I was immediately incapacitated and disabled. I lost my job and I lost the ability to consistently control my motor functions. And as a result, I can no longer hold a physical job or just any job outside my home or even drive again. I've been to so many specialists that said I was lying or it was in my head. And dealing with all that, well, I was getting sicker and sicker. And I was being given bullshit medicine from these doctors that kept sending me to the hospital because none of them ever took my medical history seriously. I've been sickly for most of my life, unfortunately, but I've never been disabled until recently. Some of the symptoms are pretty severe, like not being able to walk, loss of my motor functions, and also the loss of my speech is one of the symptoms. All of my symptoms are completely unpredictable. They kind of just flare up and attack. It's terrifying, honestly, and it still is even after dealing with this for years now. And then starting about 6 months ago, I started to get kidney infections, and then another, and then another, and then the last one, each one resulting in the same diagnosis, which is sepsis. The last one that I had, which was during the Hunters at Home production, was the closest I ever went into septic shock, due to the emergency room not recognizing how severe my symptoms were when I came in. Even though I had already been to that hospital many times for the same reason. They refused to respond quickly and give me the medicine I needed. And the nurses started panicking because they couldn't stabilize my vitals. And they kept trying to call the doctors to get me medicine urgently, but they just wouldn't respond quickly enough. And it was their decision to rush me into the ICU as fast as they could that saved my life. Now, we get to, why am I telling you guys all this now? Why didn't I tell you guys when the symptoms were really bad? The truth is, my family can't really support me anymore. Of course, financially, they always support me because they know I'm goated with the sauce when it comes to, doing artistic stuff. If I did not have insurance, I believe my bills total over $500,000 from all of my visits in the last year due to the multiple severe infections and surgeries I had, and the amount of times I had to be admitted for long hospital stays. And this is probably a gross underestimation. My family had to pay a lot on behalf of their child who's disabled and can no longer make consistent income. I also still can't ask for disability benefits because I don't have a diagnosis, and even if I do ask, I can't guarantee that I'll actually get the benefits to have income. Therefore, I turn to you guys. I've been making content since I was 16 and I've always done it for fun. Of course, I would monetize a video here and there, but I never monetize any video if I did not think it was ethically right to do so. The majority of the videos I have right now are completely unmonetized, never have been, and probably won't be in the future as well. All of my most popular videos are unmonetized, and even Hunters at Home is unmonetized. I've only ever taken one payout from YouTube since 16 for $100. I want to do bigger projects, and it's impossible to do it without a budget. Every person that I decide to work with, I choose with certainty that this is the right person, and they deserve to be paid for their skills and time. I promise that monetization will not cripple my channel. I will also be looking for sponsors as well for the bigger projects to make sure that these things actually get made. I have a lot of ideas for the future that are even outside of Hunters at Home. I do want to make more entries for it, but I've had ideas for like really cool music videos, original songs. Yes, I make music too as a hobby. And fight animations like that cool Dan Hung animation, like the Ecor of Two Dragons, or like that Sam animation where it's like robot bugs destruction. So like I got plans. And I'm very determined to make these things happen. If you guys want to support me in these endeavors and just help me make more content in general, please consider donating to my Patreon. I also have a coffee for one-time donations. Everything will be linked in the description. It'll take me a while to look smacks the Discord and clean up my Patreon tiers. And I do want to rest and celebrate for a while after the animation and after the entire ordeal that I've been through making this. I really didn't want to give you guys a sob story, but I genuinely feel a lot of guilt asking people to give me their money for no reason. I promise everything will be going into my projects, the channel, and just keeping myself alive. Thank you so much for your support. I feel like my calling in life is just to make art and stuff. I mean, at this point, it's really the only thing I can do well. And I'm really excited to share my ideas with you guys. Thank you for watching this very long video to the end. See you in the Discord, by the way!